From your local election headquarters, here is This Week in Louisiana Politics.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Fred Childers. Thanks for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Politics on your local election headquarters. We have had an eventful week, so let's go. Louisiana's special legislative session began this week. Lawmakers are tasked with adjusting election dates in light of the U.S. Supreme Court's decision on the state's landmark redistricting case. Reporter Deshaun Johnson breaks down what this could mean for upcoming elections.
Lawmakers at the state capitol are not seeing eye to eye during this special session, especially with one measure inching closer to becoming law.
We have 5 yeas and 3 nays.
Senate Bill 1 would move deadlines and dates for the 2026 spring election.
We're just changing the closed party primary dates and the closed party election runoff dates from April and May to May and June.
The author of the bill, Republican Senator Caleb Kleinpeter, says delaying deadlines allows them to act swiftly ahead of the Supreme Court's decision on the future of congressional redistricting in the state. Other state leaders find this decision simply wrong.
In addition to that, we are making an exception only for the 2026 election. To me, Mr. Chairman, we need to be very careful. That's a very slippery slope we are on. I will say again, it is unconstitutional to move election dates.
The heated exchange in the Senate chambers showing Democratic frustration about how this would look next year. Senator Sam Jenkins questioned why this would only happen for next year's election and why are they waiting to do this now?
We do not have a right to deny or to infringe upon anybody's right to carry out their votes, and we're just too doggone close to the 2026 election cycle to be making changes like we're making right now.
There's been an ongoing discussion about how the Supreme Court's decision would affect the state's political climate and the Voting Rights Act. Kleinpeter says this is not a move to cause divide, but to help the state. Deshaun Johnson, Louisiana First News.
And that special session runs until November 13th, although it could end sooner. The Education Department says it will restart the loan forgiveness process for eligible borrowers, making them exempt from paying federal taxes on the forgiven amounts this year. The forgiveness process includes people on income contingent repayment or pay-as-you-earn plans with qualifying payments for 20 to 25 years. The department says it is complying with a Biden-era law, which is set to expire at the end of the year. New Orleans city leaders are scrambling to fix a massive deficit in the budget. During a city council meeting this week, city leaders tried to find the millions of dollars needed to continue paying employees. WGNO's Ashley Hamilton has the latest.
In the face of a $160 million deficit, the New Orleans City Council unanimously approved the request for a $125 million state bond to cover payroll. Though it's only a temporary solution, council members agreed to do it on behalf of the city workers.
To make sure that business of the city continues and that there are no lags, because we know if something can't get done, then it draws out and it becomes an issue for next year.
Both the council and the New Orleans Chief Administrative Officer Joe Threat say that overtime spending is the main contributor to the crisis. Over $40 million was spent on overtime pay, despite the city budgeting $57,000 to cover it. Council President J.P. Morrell emphasized the city can never be in this position again.
We have to change the budgeting process so that when a budget is finalized by a council and by a mayor on December 1st of any given year, that is the money to be spent that year.
With the resolution now passed, Mayor-elect Helena Moreno wants to quickly schedule an emergency meeting with the State Bond Commission in order to get the bond approved. She says managing this upcoming year's budget will be a challenge.
The level of cuts that are coming are going to be very difficult, but we have to get it done, meet the challenge, and we do have to right-size government and still meet the critical city services.
Attorney General Liz Murrow says she is considering taking over the city's finances under a newly amended law that allows it in instances where a municipality is unable to manage its own budget. State Senator Jay Morris, who is on the Bond Commission board, says he's not ruling out that option, but Morris believes it's not appropriate for the state to just fill in the gap without much consideration.
Skeptical of the state just stepping in the last minute before we fully understand all the errors that were made that led to this. If they want to raise that kind of money, why can't they go and pass a tax like most everybody has to do.
Ashley Hamilton, WGNO News.
And we'll be keeping an eye on that. Coming up, the government shutdown could keep Louisiana residents from putting food on the table. And that same shutdown has caused the National Flood Insurance Program to lapse, putting another burden on Louisiana families. We'll be right back.